Our next game is, number 9, Vanderbilt going to Texas and, getting beat by the Longhorns. Texas pulled away early in this one. Vandy, they mounted a very impressive comeback in the fourth quarter, though, with 21 unanswered points. It was just a little too short. This was our underdog pick of the week. Vanderbilt was getting 2.5 points, and they lost by 3. It was a bad beat on our part, and we are now 5-6 in the season. Other than the outcome of the game, it was a very even game and performance for both teams. There was almost the same amount of first down, third down efficiency, yards, and passing, which, considering Arch's performance earlier in the season, this is great to see from him. It seems like he's finding a rhythm.
Great improvement. Yep.
Exactly. All right. Texas was a whole yard per rush attempt better than Vandy, and was -1 in the turnover battle. So that's what was ultimately needed to get the 3-point victory. Arch was able to come back from the concussion protocol, like you said earlier, and play in this game. He finished the game with 25 for 33 passing attempts for 328 yards and 3 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. It was kind of nice to see him, on this first drive back from injury. He connected on a 75-yard touchdown pass with Ryan Wingo on the first play from scrimmage. Immediately, it set a tone of confidence for him and his team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. This game was a high pressure situation for Texas, but Arch, he really looked laser focused. He showed elite efficiency, especially on those quick throws, and it helped gain confidence for him and fuel his offense. This is the Arch we expected to see at the beginning of the year. It's a huge development for Texas' hopes for the rest of the season, and I mean, you never know where they could end up if they continue to execute at this level.
The CFP committee is going to put them in there.
Yep. with this level of execution we're seeing right now. Also, there was great performance by the Texas defensive line. The front 7 recorded 6 total sacks and 10 tackles for loss. Very disruptive, and they delayed Diego Pavia, getting going from almost the entire game. We said last week, the game against Mississippi State finally made it look like Texas team had finally woken up and rose to the top balling that this team was made out to be in the preseason, right? All that seemed true until the fourth quarter when Vandy started, taking this game by the horns and scored 21 points straight. The Texas defense couldn't stop anything, and on the offensive side, let's just say Texas is good to miss a field goal every game, and this game's missed field goal came in the fourth when they needed, any momentum back that they could get. Vanderbilt almost had the onside kick as well somehow, but the ball went out of bounds right when the game, was in its clutchest moment, and the game was basically over.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, my question to you, Mash, is, what was the biggest change you saw in Texas's offense this game, that made them look so different than the offensive outputs we've seen in, previous ones?
Yeah, I think even the coach, said it. It sounds simple, but the offensive line just did their job. Steve Sarkisian, he said that they provided Arch Manning the best protection that he's seen all year. They only allowed 1 tackle for loss against Vanderbilt's defense. The running game wasn't spectacular. I think 75 yards for Quintravian Wisner, their lead running back. But the pass protection was elite. And I think the output of this game was just different because this offense was able to do its thing. I mean, the defense has been keeping them in games for the whole season. I think the defense has been doing what they've needed to do. It's just Arch is kind of finding his rhythm now, and it led to, it was pretty much a dominant win until Diego started doing his thing. But yeah, fortunately, the offense was able to dig a deep enough hole for Vanderbilt that they couldn't get out at the end.